In the summer of 2018, following my high school graduation, my dad and I embarked upon a Bigfoot road trip to Colorado Springs in search of some amazing high-altitude adventures. Now that my younger brothers, Jackson and Easton, are old enough to join us on these trips, we decided it was time for the Baxters to make our return.
Everything's fine. Wouldn't expect any more from this. The situation's in line with every story that I heard of the burning bliss, and I wait, trying to appreciate, and I wait, trying to evaluate.
After an arduous drive from northern Oklahoma to Colorado Springs, we finally pulled into our campsite at the Rocky Top Campground. Exhausted from the long drive, we unloaded the car, set up camp, and made some dinner as evening began to set in.
And I wait, trying to appreciate, and I wait, wanting to accommodate.
Okay guys, after our long 10-hour drive, we finally made it to Colorado Springs. We just arrived and set up our campsite, just missing a storm. We've been racing this storm ever since we arrived in Colorado Springs, and it's still probably gonna hit us. Here the clouds are starting to build over the mountains there. So we're expecting to get rain tonight, but I'm just so glad that we finally made it back to Colorado Springs after 4 years, finally back. Whew, and it is as gorgeous as ever. Here's the view from our campsite. Absolutely beautiful. So right now we're getting the last bit of our gear packed up in the tent, so when the rain hits, it'll all be fine, hopefully. For the next couple of days, we're gonna be staying here at the Rocky Top Motel and Campground. Not super secluded, we're not exactly out in the wilderness, but it's a nice cozy little campground. And you just cannot beat the views of the Rocky Mountains all around us. Fantastic. Tomorrow we're going to be hiking around the Garden of the Gods area, and the day after that we're going to be exploring around Pikes Peak, possibly going to the summit, maybe do some fishing, who knows. The adventure is just beginning, and I can't wait. At first light the next morning, we made our way to the world-famous and immensely beautiful Garden of the Gods. The massive sedimentary rock formations that we see today, composed mostly of sandstone and limestone, began forming during the Pleistocene Ice Age, a time during which prehistoric humans hunted mammoths on Colorado's eastern plains. Knowledge of Native American occupation in this region dates back to around 3,000 years, with tribes including the Apache, Shoshone, Pawnee, Cheyenne, Kiowa, Arapaho, Lakota, and Ute possessing a deep and sacred connection to this region, with Ute oral traditions even supposing that humans were first created in the area now known as the Garden of the Gods. The Garden of the Gods is also world-renowned for its expansive natural history. In 1878, Professor James Kerr uncovered a fossilized dinosaur skull in the Garden of the Gods that was long believed to be the skull of a Camptosaurus. But In the early 2000s, Dr. Ken Carpenter and Kathleen Brill discovered that the skull actually belonged to a new genus of herbivorous iguanodontian dinosaur, and this newly recognized species would become known as Theophytalia cari, which roamed the wilds of Colorado during the Lower Cretaceous period, about 112 million years ago. Today, with the unique geography of the region acting as a transition zone between Colorado's eastern plains and the alpine forests of the Rocky Mountains, the Garden of the Gods is home to such incredible and iconic species as bighorn sheep, elk, mule deer, prairie dogs, black bear, and mountain lions. Suffice it to say, this place is incredible. Arriving at the trailhead, we gathered our gear and went over our desired route to explore the area. Okay, we made it to our first trail in the Garden of the Gods area. We've got the mountains all around us. Pikes Peak is right back there. And I cannot wait to explore this area. It's nice and warm out, but it's not too hot. And we're just heading along this trail. Whew. Beginning our hike with massive boulders and rock formations on our path and the Rocky Mountains as our backdrop, we were immediately struck by just how gorgeous the landscape of the Garden of the Gods was. While the dry, rocky landscape of the Garden of the Gods may seem inhospitable for life at first glance, we encountered a plethora of species that are perfectly adapted for this environment, including cottontail rabbits, eastern fence lizards, and even mule deer, many of which were seen lying down in the shrubland foliage to escape the heat of the day. We've seen some deer sign, and we've even seen a couple of mule deer, but the most common animal we've seen so far is the human animal. It's a very popular area for hikers, and I can definitely see why. This is a beautiful area. Whew. This area was so much fun to explore, but as we finished up our hike, we found ourselves in need of a cool reprieve from the heat, so we decided to check out the Garden of the Gods trading post. After finishing up inside and picking up a few knickknacks, we received a firm reminder of just how unpredictable mountain weather can be, as a rainstorm had just blown in, halting our hiking efforts. Colorado's unique topography and interior continent geography makes for some incredibly erratic weather patterns. Blistering hot temperatures can become raging thunderstorms in a matter of minutes, so it's vital to always keep a close eye on the weather patterns when traversing high-altitude landscapes. We've been sitting here at the Red Rock Canyon space for a while, but it's just been raining too hard. Now the rain appears to have lightened up a little bit, so we're going to give it a try and see if we can explore the area and avoid the weather. So we'll see what happens. After waiting out the brunt of the storm, we decided to brave the remaining weather in order to explore the trails of the Red Rock Canyon open space. We came across this nice little pond. It appears that the water is quite low. It's been pretty hot. The water level seems to be down from what it usually is. But out there are schools of little red fish. It's hard to tell exactly what they are from here. They're all schooled together so they look like a big red mass that only occasionally come up to the top of the water. This is a really cool spot. I don't know if you could catch any fish out of here. The only fish we see are those little red fish. But with all of these weeds in the water, it looks like it'd be a good place to catch fish. Unfortunately, we did not bring our fishing stuff. We're saving the fishing for tomorrow. It's a lovely little area. And way back there, you can even see Pikes Peak. The winding trails found throughout this area provided us with some incredible views of the Garden of the Gods and the Rocky Mountains. And due to its unique geography and vast expanses of open grassy meadows, this area was home to an abundant and thriving population of mule deer. Okay, we're right at our turnaround point on this road. So we're headed that way, and the storm is coming from this way. So hopefully we can outrun the storm, or hopefully it just misses us. Whew. Look at those views. Look at those views. Look up in those mountains. Wow. Bunch of deer tracks right here. Oh. Dad just spotted a deer. And where there's prey species like deer, that's going to bring in the predators. So an area like this, big open meadows on the edge of these forests, are perfect habitat for all walks of wildlife. Absolutely perfect. We've got one deer over here grazing in the meadows, and one deer over here browsing on the small shrubs and the trees on this rock face. Beautiful, amazing. Words can hardly even describe an area like this. Look at that. You kidding me? Ah, amazing. We're really hoping to see some bighorn sheep in these rockier areas. No sign of them yet, but last time we were here, we saw them up at the really high elevations. So we're just gonna keep on going, seeing what other amazing wildlife we can find. I'm hoping while walking along this trail, we'll come across some bear tracks. Maybe some Sasquatch tracks? I doubt it. But some bear tracks or some mountain lion tracks? That would be amazing. Man, I just can't get over these views. This video is going to be primarily me in awe of the views in Colorado. But yeah, all along this entire road, tracks all over the place. Mostly deer, some elk. I'm really hoping to see some bear tracks. Or a bear. If we could see a bear, oh, that would be incredible. Look at that. There's the ridge that we were planning on walking along. But I guess the trail goes behind the ridge, not on top of it. Which is fine by me. Looks pretty treacherous up there.
Child, I know you're hurt and you can't let go. It's not your fault and you don't deserve all the bad and the hurt.
As evening crept into the canyon, we decided to finish up our hike and make our way back to camp, where we enjoyed a warm night by the fire.
I know you've done your part, but don't give up. Just hold on tight, it'll be alright. All your life you've tried to be a good man inside. Did everything that you thought you should. Didn't seem to do you any good. I know you've tried so hard. I know you've done your part, but don't give up. Just hold on tight, it'll be alright.